¡Cristiano! ¿Qué? Ahora 5 y a dormir, ¿eh? ¿Cristiano 5 qué?
Llorar, a Turin, a llorar. Ya está, 2-0, ni manita ni nada, 2-0 y fuera.
On nights like this, football stops being a sport. The stadium lights in Turin cut through the cold Italian air, illuminating 40,000 faces that carried the same fragile mixture of hope and fear. The Allianz Stadium was alive, but beneath the noise there was tension. Juventus needed something extraordinary, and Atlético Madrid believed they had already killed the story. 2 weeks earlier in Madrid, inside the hostile walls of the Wanda Metropolitano, Atlético had finally experienced something that felt like liberation. For years they had lived in the shadow of one man, finals stolen, comebacks crushed, dreams dismantled. That man was Cristiano Ronaldo. During his reign at Real Madrid, he had become Atlético's recurring nightmare. He scored in finals against them. He eliminated them in knockouts. Every time they thought they were ready, he was there waiting. But this time was supposed to be different. Ronaldo had left Madrid. He no longer wore white. He no longer had the same army behind him. He was 34 years old and playing for Juventus in a new league, in a new system. Atlético believed it too. In the first leg of the Champions League round of 16 in February 2019, Atlético defeated Juventus 2-0. They scored twice in 5 minutes from set pieces, and the stadium erupted like years of frustration were finally being released. But the most important moment of that night didn't come from a goal. It came from the touchline. Diego Simeone, the emotional heartbeat of Atlético Madrid, exploded with passion after his team's breakthrough. In a moment of raw adrenaline, he grabbed his crotch and screamed toward the crowd, a gesture symbolizing strength and dominance. The Atlético fans followed his energy. They mocked Ronaldo as he walked off the pitch. They reminded him that he was no longer in Madrid. Ronaldo responded calmly, holding up 5 fingers to remind them how many Champions League titles he had won. Cristiano Ronaldo does not respond emotionally in press conferences. He responds with preparation. When he returned to Turin for the second leg, he did not promise miracles. He did not guarantee glory. He simply asked the Juventus fans to believe, to fill the stadium with energy, to stand together.
It's possible, but we need your help. Make the stadium good, beautiful, be everything together, everyone together.
The build-up to the second leg was filled with quiet confidence from Atlético Madrid. Statistically, they had every reason to feel safe. They were one of Europe's best defensive teams. They had conceded almost nothing in recent matches. Juventus had never overturned a 2-goal first-leg deficit in Champions League history. But history has never intimidated Cristiano Ronaldo. When the match began in Turin, Juventus came out with intensity that bordered on desperation. Allegri adjusted the system, pushing more bodies forward. Atlético remained compact in their trusted 4-4-2, disciplined and organized. Early on, Juventus thought they had the perfect start when the ball found the net, but the goal was ruled out after a foul was detected on Jan Oblak. Atlético grew more comfortable as the minutes passed. They slowed the tempo, they absorbed pressure. Then came the 27th minute. Bernardeschi received the ball on the left flank and delivered a looping cross into the penalty area. Rising between defenders, Cristiano Ronaldo leapt with frightening power and precision. His timing was flawless. His header thundered past Oblak. The scoreboard read 1-0. Atlético still had the advantage, but something deeper had shifted. Atlético attempted to calm the storm. They slowed play, they defended with structure, they entered halftime still ahead on aggregate. Inside their dressing room, they told themselves to survive the opening minutes of the second half. A cross was delivered once more into Atlético's penalty area, and again Ronaldo rose above everyone. The header was powerful and downward, bouncing toward the goal line. Oblak stretched, palmed it away. Goal line technology confirmed what Atlético feared. 2-0, aggregate 2-2, everything reset. The 2-goal cushion that felt invincible in Madrid was gone. At that moment, Atlético were not just facing Juventus, they were facing history repeating itself. In the 82nd minute, Bernardeschi drove into the penalty area with determination. Correa chased him desperately, and in that critical moment, there was contact. The Italian went down. The referee pointed to the spot. Atlético players protested furiously. They surrounded the official. It wasn't The responsibility now belonged to Cristiano Ronaldo. This was more than a penalty. It was redemption. It was revenge. It was a chance to complete a hat-trick against the very team that mocked him 2 weeks earlier. The stadium fell into an intense, suffocating silence as Ronaldo placed the ball carefully on the spot. Oblak stood tall, attempting to intimidate him. Ronaldo stepped back, composed, calculating. He had taken penalties in Champions League finals. When the whistle blew, he struck the ball with absolute conviction. Oblak guessed the wrong direction, and the net rippled violently. 3-0. Juventus led on aggregate. The Allianz Stadium erupted in disbelief and ecstasy. Players ran toward Ronaldo. Fans screamed themselves hoarse. The comeback was complete. Atlético Madrid, who had celebrated with arrogance in the first leg, now stood frozen. The man they had mocked had dismantled them almost single-handedly. When the final whistle finally blew, it was not just a victory. Cristiano Ronaldo turned toward the crowd and recreated Diego Simeone's gesture from the first leg. Not in uncontrolled rage, but in deliberate response. You celebrated too soon. You underestimated the wrong man. That night in Turin became one of the greatest individual Champions League performances of the modern era. It was not just about goals. Atlético Madrid did not lose because they were weaker tactically. They lost because they awakened a competitor who feeds on disrespect.